Hey guys, how you doing? I hope you're having a good day, and if not, I hope I can make it a little better. So I was in Asda the other day, which is like the British equivalent of Walmart, and I saw this bizarre craft kit, a Happy Smiling Pick and Pop Bracelet. Pop out the beads to make your bracelet. It sounds kind of horrible to me. I'm assuming that the beads and charms are in slime, and honestly I thought, how can that ever be nice or fun, trying to make a craft kit that's covered in slime? So I figured, let's buy it and have a go and see if it is any good, or whether they just scammed me out of £3.89. Let's have a go. So here is a closer look at the packaging. It does say down here that thread, charm and beads are all included. When I poke it like this, it doesn't really do much. But I think once we get the plastic off, we'll see what the consistency is really like. And here we go. On the back, it shows that you have this disc of stuff. It has charms and it has the smiley faces, it has a string, and if you pop out the beads you can make your bracelet, and this is what the final product should look like. Gosh, I don't know, should we just give it a go? Let's set it free. I don't normally do these kind of things, but I found it so bizarre I had to try it, and it might help inform you if you see it and are curious about giving it a go. Here we go. Now apparently these are good for stress, if you're like a stress picker. I do pick sometimes, I am a bit of a picker. But I have to admit, I've never considered doing anything like this. Okay, let's set it out. Oh, so here's everything here. So this is just a colourful tray. I'm not really sure it does anything. Here is a string that you will put your things on. It feels very breakable. It's like a stretchy elastic, I would say. And here are the beads. You see the two charms here, and they're just sort of in a rubber. It's like a, I don't know, I'm not a slime person. It doesn't feel like slime though, but it feels like a really thick rubber, slightly sticky thick rubber. So I guess we just pick the pieces out and thread them onto this. It doesn't come with any sort of directions. It's literally just, here's some plastic. I'm gonna put it back in here. Here's some plasticky rubber and here's some thread. Good luck, get on with it. It's been tied really tightly. I don't even know how I'm gonna undo this bit, really. I kind of feel like the picking is the main thing, and the making a bracelet is kind of an afterthought to make it more appealable to parents. I don't know how on earth I'm gonna get this elastic apart. Look how tightly it's been tied. Oops. I might have to try and fiddle with this off screen, so I'll be right back and I'll off screen this into something usable. I goofed. I thought if I cut one of the little bits of knot it would all undo, but I'm clearly very heavy-handed and I appear to have cut all the elastic, which is great. So I have some elastic for a different video I was going to make, so I'm going to get it so we can continue with this video. Okay, so this is what jewellery elastic should look like. It's much thicker, it's not made of literally just elastic, it's got some sort of wrapping around it for crafting to make it a bit easier to handle and a bit more durable. See how the knot is not so tightly tied that you're never going to undo it? This is what's called usable. So, I don't know, shall we measure some to make our bracelet? This literally comes with no instructions on how to do it, so I guess I'm going to measure enough for my wrist with a little bit to tie off. I have just a little wrist. It wants to be stretchy, but I don't know if I want it to be like really tight to my wrist or if I want it to be loose. I think we'll go with loose, and then if it is tight, it doesn't matter, right? So we'll say this much. Get my scissors. So I guess now I just pick out the beads and charms to fit onto my bit of elastic. And it looks really gross. There's a nice lot on the surface here that we could go for, but there's this one here that's just sort of on the edge. I feel like that'd be a good starting piece. So let's just, oh, it literally just comes out. And it doesn't feel sticky. Okay, that's not so bad then. Should we try another one? Let's do this one here. Ooh, that's quite a satisfying noise. Okay. Should we do one on this side? Because this looks like the more obvious side to do them on. This feels like the shop display side. We'll do it on the corner again. This one still has a bit of the plastic on. Okay, well that comes off quite easily, but I have to admit, whatever this gunk is, it feels not very environmentally friendly, I will be honest. Okay, I guess, should we try charm? See how hard it is to get the charm out? Because that looks really embedded. We'll go with the pink one, because it seems closer up. So we just... Ugh. Ugh. I think we might have to go from the bottom. We can see that it's here. So if we get all the charms off that are on the bottom. Okay, that looks doable. It's coming. And there's the charm, and it's just a cheap metal and enamel charm. Nothing to write home about, but for a £3.89 toy, I don't think you can particularly complain. Okay, well, I'm gonna keep popping out beads until we've got enough to put on the string. Okay, let's do one more of every colour. Okay, I've picked some off. I don't know if I've got too many or not enough. But let's get threading. Once again, it doesn't have any instructions on how to do this. So let me lead you in how I think I'm going to do it. I'm going to get some tape. I'm gonna get some washi tape. I'm gonna stick one end of this onto the disc, just so it's not gonna go anywhere whilst I thread the beads on. And yeah, I'm just gonna get going. I have no pattern to how this is gonna happen. Some of these beads have sticky stuff still on them. It's not like really sticky, like ew sticky, it's just like bits of rubbery sprue. It will come off, but I get the feeling as the bracelet is worn, the wearer is going to get sprue on themselves. Oh no, we've got a problem, guys. Don't tell me the bead holes are too small for this. Okay, be right back again. Okay, this is try number 3. I have cut off a length of embroidery yarn. You see how this jewellery elastic is stretchy, which is really useful for things like bracelets. Embroidery yarn is not stretchy, however, it is made up of multiple bits of thread, so we can split them to get the right thickness for this accursed bracelet. I'm gonna go with 3 pieces because that should be enough to finally go through these little holes. Now you might want a needle for doing this, I don't know. Let's see how we go though without. Okay, that'll fit through. So here we go again. I'm gonna lift up my bit of sticky, put the end of my thread under it so it's not going to move everywhere, and oh boy, we're going to have another go at putting these beads on our, at this point, bracelet. Okay. Ah, it's sticking on my thumb. Oh god, this it's not sticky, but it's like, if you did have a problem with textures, you wouldn't enjoy this, just because there are random textures that you don't see coming, like this plastic rubbery stuff. I'm getting a needle. Let's just check this needle goes through. It does! Alright, oh thank gosh. Okay, right. Okay, right. And this should make it much easier to thread the bead onto your embroidery thread. Though it has also now just made it much more dangerous if you were hoping that this kit was going to be for a child. It definitely makes it much easier and much less frustrating. And I think one positive of this one will be that it will be able to push out any of the rubber that's still stuck in the bead holes. Can you see this one? I don't know how obvious it is, but this one has got rubber stuck in the bead hole, so you would never have been able to have threaded it using just your fingers, but hopefully this needle will push it through. See how it's just sitting on there like that? That would never work. Let's see if we can get a good close-up of it coming out, guys. Oh no, it's actually gone through. You see this? There it is. Ah! Gross yet satisfying, I suppose. Okay, right, let's put this big charm on. Okay, well that went on quite nicely. Okay, right, well I'm going to continue to do this in the montage that I promised earlier. Rightio, I'm going to say that is enough. Mostly because this isn't stretchy, you can't stretch it like you can jewellery elastics. Yeah, this is stretchy. It's going to be much harder for me to tie a knot on at the end to secure all of these. So I need a bit of extra leeway. So I just move these all down a little bit. Now, once again, this doesn't have any instructions with it on how to do this. Do I trust myself to do it right? Absolutely not. I'm gonna do a knot like this and hope for the best. Okay, that's all right. And I'm gonna do one again to be absolutely certain that it's secure. Right. Now, in theory, it's a little bit loose and dangly, and I think now probably too small for my wrist, but not too small for a little person. We have a bracelet! Yeah! Okay, so here is what I managed to make out of my Happy Smiling Pick and Pop Bracelet kit. Because the elastic that came with it was tied together far too tightly and was never going to come undone in a million years, we kind of failed at the rest of the kit. The bead elastic that I've got was too thick to go through the hole. I'm sure you can find thinner elastic online or at the craft shop, but like, if you've bought this kit for your little darling or even yourself, such in my case, to do, you kind of want to do it here and now. You don't want to have to be like, oh dear, part of it doesn't work, I'm going to have to order some, I'm going to have to go out, we can't do this straight away, it's going to be between an hour to, I don't know, a week before we can finally get this started because we don't have the right thread to use. You want to be able to use what's lying around the house. If, like me, you happen to have stuff lying around the house that should work, you want it to work. You don't want to then have to resort to something that is not appropriate. Like, this was never going to be appropriate, but it was the only thing that was going to work with these beads that I had lying around the house. So that kind of makes it, as a craft kit, bad. Really bad, poo-poo. If, like, one of the most important parts of the craft kit isn't usable, it's not really a craft kit anymore. And I kind of feel like when you're a parent and you're buying something, the difference between you getting item A and item B is if your child is going to get something educational out of it. The educational sell on this is that you're doing all the picking to make something. You're learning how to make something. When you're unable to make something, it's literally just a toy again. As a picking toy, it's perfectly fine. It's no way near as messy as I thought it would be, like sticky wise. You know, this isn't like slime that you'll get on everything and you'll be removing from the washing for like weeks to come. But it does leave these little sprue bits everywhere, so you'll probably be picking those out of your clothes for weeks to come. The beads themselves are perfectly fine. They'll be great for other crafts. The charm will be great for other crafts.
But really, it is just reduced down to a picking toy. So I suppose if your kid does have a problem with picking, or if you have a problem with picking, it is something to distract you. But then it doesn't really have the reusability factor, because once you've popped it out, you can't be putting it back in. It does make cool noises though. I give it that. It does. Let's see if we can get a cool noise out of it, because I did like the popping noise when the bead came out. Let's see if we can do that. You know, I guess this bit's kind of soothing if you are a picker to just... But the fact that you now can't make anything out of the things that you pick out of the rubber, unless you do then pop down to the craft store or go on Amazon, does kind of make it a bit redundant. Here you go. Here's some nice ASMR for you. Ooh, that was a good one. Yeah, well, anyway. Here is the Happy Smiling Pick and Pop Bracelet kit. Would you get it? How would you have saved it with the items that you have lying around the house? Well, thank you for making it to the end of the video with me. I'd love to know what your favourite part was. If you could leave a comment in the comment section below. I'd love to know how you would have saved this kit if you were in my situation. If you could like, subscribe, turn on notifications and share this video, that would be amazing. You can follow me at Enchanted Violin on Instagram, TikTok, Threads, Blue Sky, pretty much anywhere. Links will be in the description box below, as well as links to my online comics, my Patreon and more. And I'll see you next time, where hopefully I do something a bit more successful. Bye!